Welcome back to the Western Working Wife vlog. If you're new here, my name is Tia, and I'm here to show you my life hacks I utilize to shuffle shenanigans every week while I run a successful real estate business, remain a competitive barrel racer, and practice the art of homemaking for my growing family. I am not your typical social media influencer. I don't want to influence you at all, actually. I simply want to provide you inspiration in your daily life and show you that you can do it all and not lose your identity. You do not have to choose between having a career, chasing dreams, and being a homemaker. Hey everyone, I wanted to show you step by step how I am going through the canning process and preserving meals that I've whipped up for my family, and it's a really cool process, so I wanted to just show y'all each step by step. So the very first thing you need to do is get your cans ready, or your jars ready. It's funny that they call this canning when you're using mason jars. So the first thing you want to do is sterilize your jars. So I am going to just, in this warm soapy water, I'm going to clean, I've got a lot of jars in here. So you just wash them, rinse them, and then put them upside down over here so the water will roll out of them and dry off a little bit. Yes, even if they are brand new jars, you still want to make sure they are sterilized. You can use whatever soap you prefer, bleach, whatever you want. All right, the next step is to take your lids and your rings and separate them. And you're just gonna put them in a pot of water, or a little pan of water. And you just put it on medium heat and let those sit while you can everything up. So that is your next step. The third thing you want to do is get a bowl of a little bit of water and some vinegar. Only use canning vinegar. Yeah, you just add a little water, add a little vinegar. And this is going to be what you use to wipe off your jars before you put the lids on them. And then while you have this out, my recommendation is to go ahead and add your vinegar to your pot, your canner. I didn't do that, and I have hard water and on one of my batches, and although it didn't affect my jars or anything, it did leave this film on there that I had to wash off after they were done settling for my 18 to 24 hours. So don't forget your vinegar in your canner. Okay, so another thing to know when you're water bath canning is that you always want to make sure your water bath is full. So if you, for instance, I think I'm going to get maybe 5 quarts done of the spaghetti. So typically you want to do 7 quarts or add in a couple pint jars. So what I'm going to do is I had these baby red potatoes too, and I was like, you know what, I can't think of anything I'm going to use them for right away, so I'm going to go ahead and can those up as well. And then I also have some carrots from some other recipes that I've just got done making the other day, and I've got leftover carrots. So I'm going to go ahead and try and fill up a quart jar of my baby red potatoes and a quart jar of my carrots as well. So oh, and then if you don't have any kind of vegetable or something to throw in there, or fruit or whatever, can up water, because you can always use water. So if the power goes out and you need to flush toilets or brush your teeth or do some dishes or whatever, you'll always have canned up water. So That's what I did in one of my recent water baths, was just add in a couple quarts of water, if nothing else, okay? Okay, and then when you are doing these, you want to try to get as many of the spaces out as possible. And so you add some water and you'll like shake it up really good and like try to like get the potatoes and stuff to like settle to the bottom. And then you use like you can use your little lid magnet or whatever and just like shove them down in there and like try to squeeze out like any spaces and stuff. So you'll just kind of like push them down in there. You want to get as much in here as you possibly can, and you just want to push out any of your air pockets. So that's what I'm doing right now. You want to make sure it's as tight as possible. Alrighty. Just like that. So I am gonna go add water, shake it up again a little bit, make sure I can, like if I need to get any more bubbles out of it, and then I will just add water to it, and then that's it. And then this is ready for the water bath. Okay, so here's my carrots, and when you're, as you're filling up your jar, just like it's okay to get a little bit rough with it and just like really like smash them down in there and stuff, like kind of like shake them to the bottom and stuff as you're filling it up. And then another way to get more in here, so you see there's like air pockets and stuff, so you're gonna want to add some water to it and then shake it up and shake it up. And this is making more space for you, so you can fit some more stuff in that jar. And just kind of, you're gonna try to pack them in there and like just push out any air pockets. And again, like it kind of takes a little bit of force to do this, like, just get them good and like pack down in there and get them as tight as you can. Probably put a few more in there, but there you go. Okay, so since my carrots and my potatoes are ready and my noodles are finishing cooking over there, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you put the lids on these and the rings. So I don't know if you remember that vinegar water. This is where you use the vinegar water at. So I just use a paper towel. You can use, you know, wash rag or something, but basically you're just going to wipe the seals right here. Make sure that it's good and sterile and clean. That is the name of the game when you are canning, is to keep everything clean. So I am just going to grab one of the lids and put it on, and then you grab your ring and you just make it about finger tight. You don't over tighten this. So there's that one. And same thing. That's it. These go in the water bath, and then I will can up the spaghetti next. So I am doing spaghetti right now, and anytime you have meat in your jars, you need to do an automatic 3-hour water bath. So I'm going to show you, this is my first time doing spaghetti, so my rations might not be perfect. I don't know, we'll see. Anytime you're doing pasta, you want to make sure your noodles don't get overcooked when you're actually cooking them. So I learned a new trick with my pasta noodles because I feel like when I did my mac and cheese, I might have overdone the noodles a little bit. And so someone taught me the trick of bringing your water to a boil and then pulling it from the heat, putting your noodles in it, and putting a lid on it for, they say 20 minutes if it's going to be 20 minutes if you're gonna like cook them all the way. So I did them for 10 minutes because you don't want to overcook them because they're gonna cook some more in your water bath. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my noodles and then add my my meat sauce. So I went ahead and added a little bit more noodles to all of them, and then I added just a little bit of Italian seasoning to them. Now I am going to use my ladle here and dish in the spaghetti sauce. And I would say you know, like kind of shake it a little bit and like kind of get it to settle in real good. Because you want to still leave your head space in there. So really getting it to settle down in there, and then using, I'm going to use this little guy here to kind of stir this in. And look how much that space that frees up when you do that. So you want to kind of stir that in. Yeah, and get out your air pockets and stuff. So look how much that space that just like freed up right there by doing that. So room for more spaghetti sauce. Just like that. Give it a good there we go. Just like that. And that's a good amount of headspace in there. So, same thing. And that's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on over here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do my sterilizing here. And you probably have a few more paper towels if you're using paper towels like me. So, to avoid Zane killing me tonight, I'm only going to can up 4 quarts of my spaghetti, because if I can up the 5th one, we're not going to have enough, spaghetti for supper. So, I'm going to hold back a quart so we have supper, and I'm going to go ahead and make up another can of carrots instead. That's the best thing I can come up with. Otherwise, we're not going to have supper. So, to avoid death by canning, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, I'm going to do these 4. Okay, so now we are ready to fill up the water bath. Check it out. I got all the goods in there, and the rule of thumb is so you don't shatter jars and stuff. You do cold water for cold jars or hot water for hot jars. So my jars are in between like cold and hot. Like the spaghetti sauce wasn't super hot, so I am filling the water bath with like warm water and praying for no praying for no shattered jars. So and again, I am going to set the timer to 3 hours in this water bath. So yeah, I will keep y'all posted on how it turns out. Thanks for coming along with me while I canned up some spaghetti, carrots, and baby red potatoes. I will take little videos of the jars after and show you the process of pulling them out of the water bath as well. Poor thing. So if you have a Ball electric canner, you just fill it to that max fill line right there. And let me flip this around so you can see the settings. Okay, so you're just gonna go on here and preheat jars and hit next. And then once it goes through all the little bars of preheating the jars, then I'm gonna come back over here and I'll put it on high and I'll set the timer for 3 hours. About halfway through, you may have to add a little bit more water. So it's really not that bad because it gives me at least an hour and a half of knowing I can go do other things in the house. This is typically like when I will clean up the mess of a kitchen I have now. Got things everywhere. I will do the dishes. I will sweep the floors. I will get all my things cleaned up in this next hour and a half. And if I have to add more water, I'll just open it. I'll boil some water over on the stove and then I'll add it back into the max fill line. So if I have to do that, I will show you guys that process too. So since I didn't want to die a death by canning, I went ahead and dumped out that one jar. And I wanted to show y'all real quick just how much spaghetti came out of one jar. So for just me and Zane, I think this is the perfect amount of spaghetti. Check that out. That's just 1 quart of spaghetti. So I think that's really perfect for just 2 people. If you have kids and stuff, then you'll just, you know, pull out 2 quarts or something if you want more. So yeah, it turned out so good too. Okay, so it just went off and told me that it was done preheating my jars. So now I'm gonna put it on high and hit next, and then I'm gonna set the timer. We're gonna set this timer for 3 hours. I always give it just a little extra, like 3 hours and 10 minutes. And then you hit next. And that's it. It will start boiling and it'll water bath for 3 hours. Okay, so my water level dropped just a little bit in the water bath, and so what I'm doing now is just boiling a little bit of water, and then I am just gonna add it to the water bath. So when you're water bathing, you don't want your water level to go too low above the tops of the jars, and so basically, I just try to keep it at the max fill line because I know that that's got enough headspace over the quart jars. It's not really a problem if you're just doing like pints or like the half pints or anything, but if you're doing the quart jars, you just want to make sure it stays up at the max fill. That way you've got plenty of water clearance over it. So if it drops too low, you'll have to start your water bath over, and when you're water bathing for 3 hours, you don't really want to start that over. So I am going to get this to a boil and then just dump it in there. So, and then it's got like about an hour left, and I will show y'all how I pull them out. Okay. All right, You can hear the timer going off. And so now it is time to shut her off. And we just remove the lid and you just let it cool for about 5 to 7 minutes or so. And then we'll pull them out. Okay, so now it's time to take the jars out of the water bath. And I'll show you how we do that. So I still have kind of a basic one of these. They actually make a spring-loaded one that I've used at my neighbor's house, and it's really awesome. I'm gonna be getting one of those. But you just pick it up. You keep it nice and flat. You don't tilt it or anything. And then you set it down. You don't do any like tilting or anything. You just keep them nice and straight up and down. That little noise you just heard there was when they ping and they're officially sealed. And I probably jumped a little bit, so because it always makes me jump. But that little pinging noise is a good noise, and that means we've got a seal. But you still just don't touch them for a solid 12 to 24 hours. Just kind of leave them be, let them get good and cool off, and then I will show you what it looks like to test the seals. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my canning tutorial. If you have questions, let me know. I just want to show you one last thing on here, and that is to show you how you know you have a good seal. So you just pull the ring off and grab just the lid part by 2 fingers, and you'll see that it is good and sealed. So as long as that seal is sealed, then you have good food. I get asked all the time, like, how long is it going to be good for? As long as the seal is sealed, then it's good to eat. I think it's pretty fascinating that they've pulled these like jarred mason jars out of sunken shipwrecks before that were over 100 years old. They pulled the food up and tested it, and it tested edible. So I think that's really awesome. USDA is going to tell you, I think it's like 18 months or something, eat it within a year. But and then even if you buy Ball brand mason jars, it will say that it's guaranteed freshness for 18 months. But I mean, I've done enough research and read about it, and all the ladies in the canning group that I'm in, they swear that as long as your seal is sealed, you are good to eat the food inside. Now, obviously you want to do a smell test. So if, you know, it smells bad, then don't eat it. But you know, and that might happen, but that's okay. Like, it's probably not going to happen to a whole batch. If it does happen, then you just toss that batch out and start again. It's hard saying, you know, exactly what might have went wrong in the process, but yeah. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. And I will also link the group that I've learned everything from. My neighbor Becky has been amazing. She's helped me learn all of this as well. She added me to the amazing, I think it's called the Amazing Water Bath, the Amazing World of Water Bath Canning. I think that's what it's called on Facebook. So I will drop a link in the description so that you can access that group. If you have any, if you have a desire to get into canning, it's a really resourceful group and it has great recipes. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Have a good night.